Hello and welcome to a Yogscast first look at a brand new raid boss in World of Warcraft Cataclysm. This is the Conclave of Wind in the Throne of the Four Winds. When you go in, you'll see three genies surrounding Alakir, the Elemental Lord of Wind.
Oh my god, what the fuck is that? Behind that pillar.
Oh god.
He's a big
Whoa.
lad.
Holy shit! That guy is badass.
To reach Alakir, you have to take out these three elemental genies who surround him. You can reach them by just simply running onto these jumpy path things and it will bounce you across to their platform. We spent about 2 hours learning the mechanics of this fight tonight, and I'm afraid we haven't really got pinned down a firm strategy. But I'll take you through some of the things we've learned, and hopefully it will give you an idea of what to expect.
Well, get prepared to get owned, guys. I don't have judgment on my bars.
Firstly, trying to take on just one at once won't work. Any of the ones that aren't in combat will put a debuff on the raid, which is excruciating.
Yeah, me too. Silence. Oh god. GG.
Well, now we know how fast we'll die.
Leaving up the East Genie will silence your entire raid. Leaving out the West Genie will cause a 100% healing reduction debuff on the raid. And leaving up the North Genie will cause a 500% haste slow on the raid. Any of these debuffs are completely raid killing and cannot be handled at all. This means that you will need to split your, in our case, 10-man group into 3 groups to individually handle the 3 bosses. The Genie of the East Wind has a whirlwind around him in melee, which prevents him from being melee tanked. However, he doesn't actually do very much damage to anyone at range, which means that we could have a single healer, in this case we actually had a Resto Druid, standing and off-tanking him. The boss of the North Wind does a very nasty frontal breath. He melees, and he does an aura that slows and increases frost damage, so I think you probably need to have to rotate people out of attacking him. Either way, we actually had a DK and healer sit on him for most of the fight without too much trouble. And the West Genie has a couple of interesting abilities. He throws down a pool, which you have to drag him out of or else he heals up, and he will also spawn flowery adds. These adds will also explode and cause a stacking dot, which is pretty horrible. Having realised that the West Drake was probably the one we wanted to kill first, we decided on a strategy of burning him down first, then moving to the others. However, as you will see, there is another mechanic here by which all of the genies build up a focus bar. When it reaches 100, they perform a very nasty attack. This is something that actually wiped some of the people who were on the other genies at the time. So our next strategy was to instead try and burn one of them down before their focus bar gets to 100. However, this doesn't actually work either, because as you will see, when one of them dies but the other 2 are still up, the boss begins channeling an ability called Gather Strength. My assumption here is that obviously you need to kill all 3 of them at the same time. You can't kill them one by one, because when that bar reaches full, I assume he will be back to full health. We didn't actually get that far, and this is actually our best attempt. I kind of get the impression that we need to optimize who we send to each platform, and it feels like, you know, Blizzard do want to stick to the 2 tank, 2 healer setup. It's actually quite easy to move between the platforms, so you know you can have a group that does move between the platforms and puts a bit of DPS on each of the bosses in turn, getting them all down low and then taking them all out in a 20-second interval or something. However, I think it will be up to some other people to find out what the optimal groups are for this setup. Overall, I think this is a very, very fun fight, and I'm looking forward to actually getting them down. What do you think, Simon?
I'm looking forward to it immensely. I mean, I want to see what they drop. So
Okay. Thank you.
Oh.